Hi everybody, Marguerite here. We have a new art exchange coming up for the new year, 2022. It is super exciting, but it's got a lot of notes, or I took a lot of notes to make sure to cover everything that I want to explain about this exchange, because this exchange is about exchanging Rolodex art cards. Here is what mine looks like at the moment. It is this holder of Rolodex cards that I've made these, but I've also exchanged with some friends, some art friends, some cards that I put in here. And this is what it looks like. I've been wanting to do an exchange like this for a while and have been thinking of ways how we can do it so that people can participate even if they don't own a Rolodex holder like something like this. Okay, so this exchange opens up January 1st and it will be open until February 15th. After that, I will do the exchanging and mail them back. You can send up to 8 cards and get 8 cards from 8 different artists back to you. If you would like to send in more than 8 cards, you certainly can, but it needs to be 8 per envelope that you mail in to me. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a bit. Sign up is going to be in the description box of this video. I had been using sign up in my art community, the Collage Art Collective, but there's been a lot of problems with Apple Pay, so I am switching to something else. And the sign up is just the website from in the description. Sign up is going to be $7, and that includes the work it takes to exchange the art and to mail it back to you. That includes the shipping as well. Right, so what if you don't have a holder like this and you're still interested in making and exchanging art? There's a couple of things that you can do. You can find on YouTube ways that people create or make their own holders. And one of those examples I have is here. It's a very simple concept of taking a book of some sort and folding all the pages, don't remove any of them, and just folding them in half until your book looks like this. Now you can take an old book and alter it, or you can take something like this that you can find in your office supply store, or this one I got at CVS, which is just our local drugstore. I did not tear out any of the pages, and I just folded all of them in half, and it turns out like this. It's nice and thick. It's actually it even bends even more than halfway because there's so many pages. And what it does is it allows you to stick papers inside, right? So you want it to be, the width of the book needs to be kind of, well, this one says, well, narrow, as those are the lines that are narrow, but also the width needs to be narrow, right? That's why these are short enough so that things can stick out. This one has lines. If you don't like the lines, you can just get some ink or something and just ink the tops so you don't see the lines so much. It looks really good with text, or I like it with text because then you could just kind of see the black of the text of the words, which is cool. You can use this for storing all kinds of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be Rolodex cards. You can use them for ATCs. And one exchange, that art exchange we did in the past, was for these cards. At the beginning of the pandemic, we wrote what we had learned about ourselves thus far. And a lot of people were like, I don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to store them. Well, this is a really good way of using this little device for storing these cards. So it doesn't need to be just for Rolodex cards. Okay. So those are my solutions for if you don't have a holder, the traditional or from the Rolodex company, right? Okay, so what is the size of a Rolodex card? A Rolodex card is 2¼ inch high by 4 inches wide. You can certainly make your own cards. That is a great thing to do. The Rolodex company, when they make cards, and when you happen to get one, say online, the cards themselves are super thin, or they tend to be really thin. So most of the time I need to glue two together to kind of stiffen them up before I begin creating art on them, right? So if you make your own, just keep that in mind, that you will want to use a little bit thicker paper. Use something like folders, or manila folder material would be good. As far as the cutouts, there is a YouTube tutorial by someone named Lollipalooza, and I will put the link in the description box. She does an excellent job of showing exactly how to measure this out and to use just an ordinary hole punch to punch out those holes, and then take scissors and just cut the little neck off. And then you have a perfectly good Rolodex card that you have made on your own without having to buy. So in addition to these little cards, these loose cards, Avery, which is an office supply company in the US, they make these rotary card sheets. And they come with 8 cards on a sheet. And these are really great for making Rolodex cards. I'll show you one that I'm in the process, or just finished making myself. These are great because you can make a whole bunch all at once. Here's the second page. You can make a whole bunch all at once, and then you separate them, and they're perforated, and it's so easy to separate them, and then and to have them made this way. The only thing you need to remember, and what I seem to mess up all the time, is the direction of the card. Let me explain. So in this Rolodex, the way that you look through them is you have something this way, and then they flip, and the direction is this way. So here you have an up, and here's the down. Here are the holes down here, and then you flip it, and then you have, when you're looking at it this way, the holes are on the top. You see that? Holes are on the bottom this way, and then you flip it and the holes are on the top. So when you have these sheets, you just need to remember which way is which. And what I usually do, I did not in this occasion, but I will do it right now, is when you start with new sheets, write the direction immediately. So here I have 2 sheets, because again, this is thin material, so I'm going to put 2 back to back. So I write top, bottom, and then I flip it over and do the same thing. Top, bottom. This way I know which way the orientation is. Hopefully I don't forget, and then that way I have, you know, the holes will be on the top this way, and here they will be on the bottom. These Avery sheets come in a package of 50, and it costs about $20 to $24 on Amazon, for example. If you are not interested in 50 sheets, I will temporarily be selling sets of these sheets for the purpose of using in this art exchange, if you're interested. So a set is 2 sheets for front and back, and each set is $3. So what I will do is I will fold them in half and mail them to you in an envelope. I will just stick them in an envelope like this and mail it to you for $3. So $3 is for 1 set. If you want 2 sets, that will be $5, okay? Postage on that, for the US, it's gonna add 58 cents, because I think I can do 1 single forever stamp on this. And then outside of the US is an additional $1.50. So I will have the link for that as well in the description box if you're interested in these cards. This is just for a short time, just for a month or so, for anybody who wants to participate in this exchange and doesn't want to buy a big box of those cards, but just enough to do for this art exchange. Okay, so I mentioned about creating your own cards. There are all kinds, in addition to just, you know, doing the measurements and cutting things out, there's also dies that you can use through those punch, no, how are those called? Big something, where you slide it through and they will create the dies. Those I have seen before. There's also this, which I have, this is a Heidi Swap punch that makes papers and punches for you. The problem with the Heidi Swap is that the neck piece, the length is short. So when you cut a piece, this is what it looks like. There's always a little bit that sticks, that is showing, because it's the cut is short. This hasn't bothered me. I just kind of keep that in mind, and when I have a paper that's short, sometimes I'll just cut it on the top and bottom or sides so that it's framed kind of in a balanced kind of way. But if this doesn't bother you, then you can use something like this. I don't know if Heidi Swap is still producing these. They're kind of hard to find online. But anyway, this is another, you know, tool that you can use. But if not, the best is just a hole punch and measured out. Okay, so you can create up to 8 cards and mail them into me. If you create cards on these pages, glue them together. So here's a front and a back to make sure this is correct. Yes. So I would glue these together. I would just get a glue stick and just do the whole thing, or whatever kind of paste, whatever you have, glue them down like this. Then separate them so that you have your 8 cards. And then after you have your 8 loose cards, you will take them and stack up 4 and 4. Take a scrap piece of paper, anything. Put a little piece of tape so that you have your stack of 4 and another stack of 4. And when you mail them into me, put them in an envelope. Include your return address label, because I'll be able to just take this out, put it on a new envelope, and mail it back to you with the exchanged cards. and then send this in to me by February 15th. Okay. What else? Anything else I want to say? The last thing I want to say is that if you need some ideas for creating Rolodex cards, I have been pinning in my Pinterest board Rolodex cards. I just love Rolodex cards, and I'm always looking for new ideas of different kinds of art that I can do for these guys. So I will put the link in the description box of my Pinterest board where I've collected a bunch of images of really great postcard art to give you some ideas and inspiration for making your own. I think I also have a video of this project. I did a flip through where you can see all the individual pages. I'll find it and I'll put a link to that as well. I will do a separate video on how to make these kinds of cards. Just a kind of a process video of how I do them. So subscribe to my channel if you have not, just to be on the lookout or to be notified when I do create this video on these. Okay, so I hope that has answered all of the questions for this exchange. I'm super excited about this. I love Rolodex cards. I think they're fabulous, and I think they're really cute to exchange with others. And I hope that you will, oh, I did remember something just now when I looked at this. Please try and use paper elements only. I know it's fun to add things on. If you want to add ribbon, that's okay. Or if you want to do a little bit of sewing around the outsides or sewing here, this one has sewing on it. That's fine. But no bumpy embellishments like a button or anything like that, because it just bulks up the envelope and it makes it much more expensive to send through the mail. All right, so just keep that in mind when you are creating your cards. Okay, thanks so much for your attention, and please write or send me any questions that you have if you need more information. Thanks. Bye.